later. Okay, Neil asks, what are your politics? Are you socialist or conservative? There's this photo of Makara Tours, who's this very girly YouTuber. She was in a YouTube video of hers, and it was just her saying, I like power, and it was like all red and a very funny screenshot, and I took it, and then I posted on Twitter saying, whenever someone asks me my politics, I just say, I love power. My biggest political influence thus far has been Curtis Yarvin. So if you know Mencius Moldbug, I am a monarchist, anarcho-capitalist, socialist. All these things apply because I believe that people should essentially, I texted my friend this the other day. I thought it was like a very succinct way of putting it. Instead of political systems creating economies, I want economies to create political systems. So my politics is like people should pay money to have access to societies that will provide them with the social services that they want. You should treat your political systems like any other service that you might seek and leave it up to market forces, but also make apparent the fact that this is the way that you should be interacting with your political systems. And the beauty of this approach is that it doesn't need to be adopted en masse by everyone at one time. You can have one city forum that says, hey, if you want to come live in the city, citizenship is 10 grand a year plus whatever land you choose to occupy. And then people can just go there and try it out. And if it works, then it'll spread. If it doesn't work, then it won't. But I think political discourse tends to be dominated by this tension between power and money. And it wasn't until I found Curtis Yarvin's blog that I kind of was always like, okay, I have these libertarian tendencies, but then I can't square libertarianism with democracy, because why would you have people voting on a political system that's supposed to be as minimalistic as possible? What sort of legislation would be voted upon? And the answer is, you just don't have people vote. You just have a good legislator make good policy decisions when they're needed. And then they can run a very liberal society. Or increasingly, if you want to live in a society has, I do think people should have like baseline social safety nets. Not because I have such a bleeding heart, but because I know I'm enough of a rationalist to understand that altruistically benefits me as well. And so you can pay to create whatever sort of city or political system you might want to participate in. And then you can have this continually fractal-like view where then you can have a city like this, and then within the city there can be smaller ones, and then the city can be a part of a bigger network of different cities that are all doing slightly different things, but maybe share certain political allegiances and certain abilities to commute more easily between them, etc. So that's my politics. It's a politics of the future that's informed by complex adaptive systems theory, which is kind of the self-organizing principle. So I'm all about thinking about information and networks and flows and drives, and capitalism and free markets are a natural manifestation of complex adaptive dynamics. There's no reason that complexity can't create political societies too. So that's what I explore, is how can those things be interrelated in a way that's more explicit than they are right now, because they're implicitly tied together right now. But I think you unleash a new paradigm when people become aware of where their leverage is. And right now, I think we've got a completely distorted view of where our meaningful leverage lies, because I've never voted a day in my life, and I don't ever plan on it, because I don't think democracy is an effective way to enact meaningful change in my local environment or in my broader country. It just isn't. It's very ineffective, and it shouldn't. I will be able to manifest a lot more political change in my life through doing the work that I'm doing than by going and voting in a liberal area that's going to elect a liberal no matter which way I vote. Like, it just doesn't make sense.